Hello, it's Tim Curtis from Intensive Engagement. In this short film, we're just going to look at the last few steps in the intensive engagement process. That is the interventions and evaluation stage. So we've been through a process of identifying an area that requires significant investment in terms of community engagement, and we've looked closely at that community, identifying all the possible assets, people, human assets, as well as built and physical assets. And we've identified a working group, and with them established all the possible perspectives on that particular community using the rich picturing technique. And that working group has come together and set a vision for the locality using a solutions-rich picture, and worked out the steps that might be taken to reach that vision. Out of that then springs the interventions, the solutions. By interventions we mean projects or activities. And in intensive engagement we split this into two stages or two parts: the solutions and practices that have been locally identified. So a solution might be a community centre, but alongside that community centre intervention has to be a set of practices that sustain the success of the project. So it's well known, for example, that skateboard parks are very good at engaging community and bringing communities together, but they also are the source of a great deal of antisocial behaviour. So if we're suggesting that a skateboard park would help with one of the problems in this particular neighbourhood, we also need to make sure that we're clear about the practices that have to go on around that skateboard park to make it as successful as possible. So we say what it is we're going to do, the solution or practice, and then we have to explain why that is. What's the intended effect? What's the effect going to be upon our on our community, and how's that going to help us reach the vision of that community in the future? Who's going to do it? With whom are we going to do it? How is it supposed to be done? When do we plan to do that? And most importantly at this stage, what's the measure of success? How do we know that we've been successful? And quite important for us, not just to get our unitary single perspective on what success looks like, but get the working group themselves to identify what success would look like for their organisation or their business or themselves personally, so that we get a 360-degree measures of success from different perspectives. So the evaluation part of it will be thinking about what factors will indicate ongoing success in crime, but also in other factors: more people meeting together or more economic activity. And we can measure the progress to that target. So we can set targets, lots of different targets, and we can begin to measure our progress towards that. We also need to think about where the work we're doing at the local level affects people at a more strategic level, or where we need their help to affect change in a particular area. We might need to get a change of policy or something built or something implemented that we don't have direct control over. So we've got to make sure that we're asking the right people and escalating to the right organisations or the right level of authority outside our working group. So we need a plan for that. And then finally, the exit strategy, particularly for those people who started the process and then catalyzed the process. What we need to be quite clear about is to think about what point you think you can step back silently and allow that community group, that working group, to get on and do their thing, with you helping and supporting and catalyzing, but you become more invisible as you go on. Exiting too early means that they then lose confidence in your ability to run the project, and sometimes critical mass is not achieved and the project collapses. So this is quite a tricky stage at which you have to be very sensitive to the dynamics of the group. Thanks for tuning in to this short film. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel and click on the link to have a look at another film. If you want to find out more about us, then go to www.intensivengagement.com. Thank you.